So a lot of people think Canon has left the M mount for dead, and that very well may be true, but should that matter to you? If you want to create good content and you can find an M50 or an M6 Mark II at a good price, are there any lenses available? Yes. 3 of the best lenses in the world, pound for pound, price to quality ratio. The Sigma trio has you covered. The 16, the 30, and the 56 F1.4 can turn your Canon APS-C camera into a beast. Let's talk about it. So big shout out to Sigma Canada for lending me these lenses for this demonstration on the little M50. Now, if you don't know a lot about focal lengths, the reason that you're covered very well with these 3 lenses for general purpose use is the 16mm I find is wide enough to carry around for vlogging, for close-up shots. The camera is less than a foot away from me right now. I'm in this car, obviously in this very interesting YouTube shot that makes you want to keep watching this video. And people like to talk about full frame equivalents. So on the Canon M50, it has a 1.6 times crop compared to full frame. So you're looking at about 26 millimeter lens. The 30 from Sigma translates more into close to a 50 millimeter lens. And that is great for gimbal work. It is great. It is basically about the field of view of the human eye, 50 millimeter. So if you want to capture things true to life the way you see them, the 30 millimeter on Sigma, which is close to the 50 on full frame, is the way to go. And then you have portrait lens. The 56 is much closer to something like an 85 millimeter focal length on full frame, which is a very popular focal length for shooting portraits. It gives you that really nice shallow depth of field in portraits, and I really think the 56 turns these APS-C cameras into very viable portrait cameras that you can take professional shots with. You can make some money when you have a nice 56 millimeter lens on a APS-C camera. I had to change locations to keep your interest. Plus, I don't say this very often about Canada, but it is too warm to film inside of a car. So let's keep talking about the 56 for a minute here. When a lot of people buy a camera, what they are thinking about, what they're picturing in their head is taking photos of people's dumb faces. I mean, their beautiful faces and having nice separation from the background, nice background blur, lovely bokeh back there. And that's what this 56 1.4 gives you in spades. It's a very, very sharp lens, and it renders colors beautifully, and it has that big background separation that a lot of people want in their portrait photography. A 1.4 will give you the same shallow depth of field as about a 2.1 on full frame, which can be plenty of blur back there for a very reasonable price. Like, look at this. These are just some snapshots I took of my wife and my neighbors, and just random shots around, not professional lighting, not setting anything up, just grabbing the camera and pressing click. Well, I told them, hey, look at the lens once in a while, but that is about it. So if you want to capture photos of people that really wow them, I think the 56 is the way to go. Now we'll talk about the 30 for a second, and as I said, that is kind of what the human eye, the field of view the human eye sees, because it's roughly a 50 millimeter equivalent on a full frame. So especially for street photography, travel, things where you want to capture how things actually look, the 30 is such a great option. You can also do nice portraits as well. A lot of people will use a 50 for a portrait, and with that nice 1.4 you still get a lot of great separation. But what I use the 30 for most of all on all of my cameras, or the 50 if I'm using full frame, is for gimbal work. I really like having a 30 or a 50 on a gimbal and then walking around society, you know, with my big giant gimbal, freaking people out, wondering if they're going to be on YouTube. And yes, you will be. And now last but certainly not least, in fact it is my favorite lens of all time, which is why I own several for different mounts, is the Sigma 16mm 1.4 that you're looking at right now and you've been looking at for most of the video. This lens is not only great for this type of thing, the vlog lifestyle, but it's also a very good landscape lens because it is wide enough to capture a wider field of view. Full frame equivalent, about a 24 to 26 depending on the mount, and to me that is a good landscape angle. That is what I actually like to use. But of course, you know me, YouTuber, fancy YouTuber. I make so much money on YouTube, so much. Affiliate links below. by the way, and I really love this lens. It is my #1 recommendation when anyone is in doing any kind of content creation. If they want to pop their booty on TikTok or whatever, I'm always 16mm Sigma 1.4, the best value in the mirrorless world, in my opinion, bar none. So once again, thanks to Sigma Canada for lending me these lenses for this demonstration of what I think is the best trio that you can buy for APS-C or Micro Four Thirds. The Sigma 1.4s, oh baby, they turn your crop sensor camera into things that compete very much with the big boys. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll talk to you again soon. Okay, bye-bye. Now, I'm gonna go get a giant gimbal and freak a bunch of people out in this park.